I'm gonna connect us now.
Okay.
Go live. We have intro page. I'm opening your screen. I'm gonna refresh other computer. Yes, we seem to be live.
Yeah. I think we are live. Hello.
Bonjour.
Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. But I think you should hear me anyway. So yeah, welcome to the next episode of the musical chair stream. It's been a while. Last time we mentioned that we're gonna take a little break as there was not that many things happening. Now there are a few more things happening, so we are back. Before we jump into the things, the Coin Market Manager, as always, is sponsoring the stream. So if you want to get access to the trading journal they are offering and you don't want to pay anything, you can see here it costs $70 a month. But if you want to get it completely for free, you can get it free for Bybit. You just need to use the link in the description to make a new Bybit account. And then you will have access to all of the features on the Coin Market Man for free. If you already have a Bybit account, nowadays you need to have a KYC, then I believe you can just DM someone on Bybit. I don't know. It's beyond my shilling scope. But yeah, if you want to try out the Coin Market Man, you can do it for free with using our link in the description. With that being said, we can take a look at some charts. So starting with BTC and ETH, as always, we had quite a move today. You can see down here there is a open interest. I'm not going to use one of those fancy aggregated ones. I'm just gonna, this is like a Binance OI on the trading view. You can kind of see we are up. This is not going to be like a super accurate number, but we are up around 15% ish, give or take. Everyone getting kind of super bullish for this. I think this is not looking too bad. Obviously, we had these kind of instances where you had a huge increase in the OI. One we have right here. There is another one kind of coming into these highs. There was another one here coming into these highs. So you can see that historically, these are kind of not the best things you want to see. Obviously, there is a large increase here, but this was for the downside. So usually these are the mean reverting ones, at least like short term. Bunch of perps are buying, so markets tends to kind of squeeze these anyway. But from like a higher time frame perspective and where we kind of sit and how the whole sentiment has been in the last few weeks or months, I think this is looking fairly well. I'm gonna go to the spot chart because there is this on perps. Basically, when we had this huge sell-off right here, there was this kind of like overshoot because perps being perps. But on the spot chart, this is fairly clean. We hit this huge chunk of volumes, this kind of a huge volume block. You can see we basically filled the whole kind of low volume node area. It's to not overcomplicate stuff. Once again, this is like a higher time frame weekly support level as well. We didn't took out these highs. These are the June lows. Sorry, the lows. These are the June lows. I would love to see them kind of taken out, but on the weekly chart, we traded under this whole range. The weekly candle closed as this kind of a bullish engulfing candle. For those simple kind of price action point of view, taking out the prior week low, closing above the high. So we have a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly and, straight off the bat, basically rallying today. So I don't know. It's a little tricky here because obviously we have the Binance SEC hearing today at in 2 hours from now, basically. So that can kind of shake things up a little bit. I believe from what I read is that the notes from the hearing won't be public until Friday. So I'm not sure how much kind of information we're gonna get, but it's probably worth to keep track of price action and what's been going on. Anyway, and we also have a FOMC on Wednesday. If we're gonna take a look at the Boomer calendar, you can see that we have unemployment claims. Am I looking at? Yeah.
Did you claim yours?
Sorry. So yeah. Yeah. It's on Wednesday. Sorry, I got kind of lost here a little bit. But yeah, we have at 8:30 p.m. This is my time. You can see now it's like 7 So basically afternoon, sort of evening Europe, and afternoonish in the US. We have the FOMC press release, so that kind of definitely can shake things up as well. But to be fair, looking at the this is not the best chart because this has a rollover gaps. Looking at S&P 500, the correlation, I feel like it's not really there. I know people kind of go back to dollar and go back to the BTC and S&P, but I feel like the correlation really has not been here much lately, so there is no real reason to pay much of attention to that. But I feel like the event itself is still going to kind of move BTC either way. So what I would love to see, obviously, not like super eager to buy here. If you are not long, I don't think this is like a best area to go long. But any kind of pullback, and I posted this on Twitter as well. Looking at any kind of pullback, I was kind of hoping the pullback will start today. Like the weeks in general, where you have just like Monday open, and if you're gonna take a look at this, when you have basically a week which kind of starts like this is these are the BTC futures charts. So this thing opened at when the futures opened. When you have a week which kind of starts like this, when there is like a no wick, there's like very small move to the downside before the rally. These tend to be not the best things, or at least you don't want to see these kind of deeper pullbacks, basically, because you kind of want to see this momentum being alive. But yeah, in general, into like any area, obviously this is where the breakout started today. So I would love to see some sort of strength around this area if you manage to kind of retrace to here. Looking at the daily chart, we have this kind of like the deepest level where I would like to see price go is basically somewhere in like 25.8 under, kind of shake everyone out who was buying since Wednesday, and then continue higher. So look for something like this, but at that point, it wouldn't be the best look if this huge buying candle would just kind of get engulfed to the downside. Looking at the ETH, I think, let me show you ETH BTC. Obviously this has been like super down bad, down only, but I kind of like the level we are heading into now. On a weekly, you can see these kind of weekly lows. Obviously, it's not the best thing that, it's since July we kind of formed a level of support here, and we haven't managed to do anything from there. We didn't have even like a slightest bounce. We are just like a small week. So obviously this thing is getting weaker and weaker on each test. You can also see on the volume profile there's in general not much here to kind of look into for stopping price all the way basically down here to kind of fill this very thin month of up only. But I would still like to see at least like a systematic bounce from these support lows at like 0.608 ish, which would go nicely with ETH, which obviously is underperforming today as well, but is this kind of a much tighter range. So I feel like if ETH would kind of pull back into this area where it kind of started, you can see on the lower time frames on the hourly chart, you have these kind of fake out under the support lows. If we would manage to retest into that I feel like would be a great long, at least until like a next daily swing point and edges of these volumes. There's like nothing going on for ETH by itself, so there's not any kind of narrative or news or whatever. So this is like a purely technical type of trade. We had a bunch of buying basically here within these like 2 or 3 candles, squeeze these guys up a little bit, and then possible upside. This would, on the other hand, only resolve, in my opinion, in very shallow pullback on BTC. So you kind of, at that point, if you would be buying ETH, I feel like BTC would be sitting somewhere around this area. So, like deeper pullback for BTC would obviously very likely screw this up completely on ETH, and ETH would very likely to trade back around like 1570 or whatever. So these are like a pullback scenarios. Obviously, if we're just gonna go straight up from here, like I said, I don't really see a reason to buy this if you are not long already. target wise, and where I would be most likely look for like a next turning point to maybe fade a little bit for BTC. It's basically this 28 to 29 area. It's kind of a point of where market broke. Under, we have this swing point, and we have this kind of a hole in the volume. So until then, if we would just go straight up from here and then would do something like this, then I would most likely look to short. But I don't really want to just fade this like blindly. So these are my very quick views on Bitcoin and ETH. Like I said, ETH is still underperforming, but coming into this higher time frame level of support, it can just for maybe a day or two catch a little bit. So it might be a decent long if Bitcoin obviously not going to completely collapse anyway. So yeah, I think that was it. Runner might have some additional notes. You can switch to your screen.
If you have
any kind of macro LARPing about the SEC, then
no,
then you can.
I mean, for me, I guess BTC. One thing, I fully agree with you in terms of I would like to see momentum. Holy shit! As I started speaking, we just watch this shit. 1 minute chart. Man, goddamn! I should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Dude, what up? What's up? Well, look. Sorry. Back to the. I would love to see the momentum continue. I do believe something I was looking for earlier today is if we compare the grayscale win. So obviously we traded all the way to 28 right? I have this blue line as some sort of bearish retest side of things.
Yeah.
But if we compare the open interest, obviously it is aggregated, but still, like, we're technically now making a new high on OI compared to grayscale. So basically price trading lower, yet more leverage in the system, which is always a bit of. So that's only one thing, I guess.
I think there is definitely possibility it would like complete the turn here. We are at this level of consolidation, before we sold off at the start of September, but I think that would be kind of bad.
At the same time,
that would mean most likely, like lower prices basically.
At the same time, I believe we, like, from simple auction market theory perspective, we've been in a balance for like a month. The grayscale one was a bit of impulse, but back in. So now we're basically, if I was to simplify it, so there's a lot of different names for this, but basically you could call this consolidation or chop or range. This is not the cleanest interpretation, but basically we're attempting a breakout. So in my opinion, if we, let's say today or like tomorrow or whatever, go back into the balance, I think that's pretty bearish. So ideally, which I cannot believe I'm out of all people being the bulltard, just continue grinding higher if possible. I don't know why, I don't know when, but that's on the Bitcoin side of things.
Yeah. To be fair, like, there wasn't that many good BTC trades in last kind of long time, at least for me, but if you're just gonna take a look at like a higher time frame price action, you always have these kind of extreme moves basically where it really makes kind of most sense to position yourself. Like before we had this huge sell-off, you had kind of this buying above very key kind of daily swing point, that got kind of stuck. Then we had this candle, like generally waiting for these kind of like a huge impulsive moves and taking it from there, because obviously in hindsight everything is like super clean, but at the same time, this was God knows how many days of basically just sideways and doing nothing. And I feel like in altcoins there has been way more opportunities, and also the correlation with the BTC, or due to the fact that BTC is mostly sideways, it's like I know that we traded a bunch of altcoins as well, and we haven't really paid all that attention to BTC basically. So yeah, BTC is kind of doing its own thing. But
I'll switch for a sec to mine. I wanna same thing that Adam said, but if BTC will be your, I guess, leading indicator for altcoins, right? And one thing I've been beating over like a dead horse is whenever, and I guess we could look at order flow, a lower time frame analysis of today, all the open interest and whatnot. But one thing that also happened, we had EBTC bleeding, we have Bitcoin dominance going up, and I'm pretty sure coin is up today. Yeah, this was a fun one. 1 second. Yeah, like Coinbase is also trending higher. I'm pretty sure it's the same for GBTC.
Yeah.
This is not it, but whatever. So I guess that kind of closes the Bitcoin, but that leads me to the next point is we've seen a lot of speculation today on the timeline, because I'm gonna open Velo and go on like super low time frames. It's like we had a lot of open interest, basically leverage entering the system, and I've started spamming all day, basically from around the, let's look at daily open. It's like you just, I mean, everybody can see it, right? Like the classic like run up, and we've seen a lot of volume, a lot of open interest, both CVDs just up only, and we've seen a lot of speculation like, is this a leak of ETF, is this? So whenever you have the speculation, you see the classic rotation I explained a second ago, which was the coin being Coinbase stock going up, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin dominance, ETH, BTC down, etc. And somebody asked, and it's already altcoins, so apologies for 15-minute Bitcoin analysis to guys who only trade altcoins. Somebody asked Bitcoin Cash and XEC up. Well, when we had the grayscale thing, which is a few months ago now, sorry, not grayscale, I mean BlackRock, this run up here, we also had a massive rally in Bitcoin Cash and XCC, because XCC is a fork. I believe it's called eCash. It's a fork of Bitcoin Cash, so they were like a proxy or whatever, beta, whatever you want to call it. So maybe today, if it's like a same playbook, maybe that is the reason. I did not check, I didn't have time, but maybe check up a bit if they're doing Bitcoin Cash volumes, because I'm pretty sure they are.
Bitcoin Cash is up quite a bit. It's one of those, it didn't like retrace the whole kind of rally it had in June. So it's definitely kind of holding up.
Man, if you get ETF, I'm actually longing this shit. This looks much better than Bitcoin.
Yeah, and this is looking super thin. Also kind of structurally, just from like a daily time frame, this is hitting into this kind of a point of control level of SR, whatever you want to call that. Looking at the Bitcoin Cash, this it feels like this has much more room to go higher, because obviously same kind of level, but we had 1, 2, and 3 tests now, so this is more likely to break and just kind of do something like this if things obviously gonna rally.
Also, so this is a Suzu coin, so
yeah, this is looking decent, to be fair.
Yeah, thanks for the comment. We were not looking at this at all.
Yeah. Oh
wow.
There is obviously a bunch of scam coins that have been having a moment in the last few days. This has been one of them. All the DVF situation.
Allegedly,
I don't know.
Allegedly, it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
Do your own research, non-financial advice.
Yeah, sure. I haven't traded these much. I trade some. I don't even know how many of these were kind of pump them dumps, and I just kind of assumed every coin looking like this has this. This is something that I shorted a little bit, but I don't know. It's still one of these things. I saw a bunch of Victory Labs yesterday, with people shorting TRB, which somewhere in this area. Obviously, if you haven't shorted right here as it started to break, and you wouldn't pay much of a funding, then sitting in a short was pretty expensive experience, to be fair, paying 2% on the notional size. So yeah, I was kind of I felt like setup is there. This was kind of losing and started to distribute a little bit, but paying that much to be short, and because at the time you don't really need to just market to go down, but sideways is a kind of big issue for you as well. So I don't know. I'm a little sketched out with these things if they are not like a quick scalps or day trades, basically.
I mean, before DWF, they were called just cartel coins, right? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we suggested most of our people watching to not trade them. Like, it was the classic. Can you look at coin that has 30 million market cap and 1 million open interest? And
Yeah, it's funny though. Like the guy doesn't have that much followers though, right? Like I was looking. I don't follow him, but I was looking at his posts, and he has like, I don't know, like 20K followers, maybe a little more. But it's not like he has like a huge reach, And these coins obviously they have trade quite a bit of volume. So yeah, it's interesting to see, definitely.
yeah, but it's not like McAfee, coin of the day type of thing. It's not
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
tweets ticker and is like, do your own research, not financial advice. But yeah, let's keep DWF coins, because not only I don't think it's unethical at least at like your way too big account to shield these shit coins, and I just lose my shit with them anyways. I think we could cover Solana thing, which we promised to cover, the FTX.
Yeah, sure. You can switch to your screen. I think you can kind of explain it better, especially since you traded and I didn't, because I wasn't at the screen during the news. So,
well, I guess the biggest takeaway is, long story short for people, obviously Solana is one of the main holdings or like coins associated with Sam Bankman-Fried and whole FTX situation. If you're an FTX creditor, you probably use the website of Kroll. It's basically the lawyer people, because there's all the information you kind of need regarding your claims, etc. So what happens since the bankruptcy or whatever, the fall of the exchange, on this website Kroll, you basically could read the new information, and they upload them pretty much daily, and actually several times a day. And on August 23rd, which I believe was somewhere around, I believe it was August 23rd, doesn't matter, it was a few weeks ago now. So let me go ahead. I'm pretty sure it was 23rd.
yeah,
So-
it was somewhere in that kind of consolidation. We kind of start, yeah, somewhere in there. Basically.
Yeah, right before this pump, exactly. So they uploaded the document that basically everybody watching seen on Twitter, but they didn't see it here when they actually uploaded it. They seen it like here.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So in the meantime, basically Solana already went down whatever 10-15%, and everybody, this I can exactly give you a arrow where Zoomer, who is the new Trove Alpha news guy, basically tweeted, and everybody started panicking. So obviously we sold off, but then within the same days, it's this, or like very closely, one of those. No, it was It was actually, I'm pretty sure it was like here. I'm trying to remember, but basically I even posted it on Twitter. All the people who shorted on that announcement were underwater within.
The announcement was much later. Basically, the announcement was
Was not
right
here?
before it. It was
Maybe
it was
here?
like Tuesday. It was Wednesday last week. It was Wednesday last week. Basically, it was on Wednesday because on Wednesday I was coming back from the break. So yeah,
second.
no. It's like yeah. Over
I
there
just wanna-
basically. Yeah. It's there.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it was funny trade in general because, like you said, like the news, it was we kind of knew about it for a while, and what was kind of interesting, there was at the same time before that kind of biggest sell-off, there were news about Solana, some with Visa, some news with Visa,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, yeah. So that was kind of a good sign of
I'm pretty sure there's
this kind
this.
of. Yeah. That was there. You marked it right now.
Here?
So yeah, after the Visa news, we kind of sold off quite a bit, but then I really started to talk. Yeah, basically this, and that was a good kind of sign of short because obviously, like in 2021, something. The news that Visa is now using Solana as payment provider, if I'm saying this correctly, would be huge. Obviously this haven't done much, so the short in general was kind of there, but it was tricky in a sense that obviously the situation itself is kind of shitty for Solana, but was once again this kind of a Twitter sentiment type of thing when the most people basically started to picking up on this right towards the bottom, and it squeezed quite a bit because the most shorts were really opened within that kind of range before the move to the upside, and now it's kind of moving up quite well as well. So I expect to. I think I was looking at, like I said, I didn't take this. I wasn't, unfortunately, at home. Obviously, I took a 2 day break within the most exciting days. But yeah, the open interest is still kind of there. We have now few more longs, but with negative funding and obviously this kind of a decent build up, which basically happened like from kind of here to here, you can see how much funding is going down. Is solely obviously because everyone is selling and lot of spot puked as well, and bunch of kind of new positions stepping in. It's still fairly kind of flat. So I would expect this to, if market is continue to be strong, to overshoot at least back above like $20, 21, maybe even 22,
I think
right here, basically at these highs. Yeah, these highs what I was looking at.
I think
At
one of the
22.
add value we can maybe add with this is it's not to be like, oh, we knew about it before you guys. It's more of a, I would like to emphasize, whenever you guys approaching news, it's like when everybody on Twitter is talking about it, I think a very first natural reaction could be, oh, it's a crowded trade. Remember, even us too, Adam, at one point we were like, oh, it's crowded. Even though it was not. It was like a few days before the Zoomer tweet. But it's like, it's this constant, in a way, there's not like any free short or sorry, any free trade in the market. And it's kind of even in you and like looking at price action and order flow and like, I guess from experience, there's no like, nobody will tell you it's a crowded short. Whenever I see that shit on social media, it's so cringy because
Yeah.
some of my best shorts, because obviously if somebody seen some of my setups by now, I'm better at shorts than longing. Whenever I hear crowded short, I'm cringing, because then you can open order flow and you can see if people are actually shorting. And very often with these, when you actually have the FTX hearing or FTX file dropping, you see very often it like dips and full recovers and sends, because people think they're so early to short. By the way, we just lost 27k. Market is down only since this stream. God damn
I'm
it.
looking at this.
We're
right
definitely
now as
not getting any
well.
sponsors.
Yeah, it's kind of turning at the moment. Seems like a little bit of kind of de-risking before the hearing at the moment, which seems reasonable. We will see. I feel like this is like super hard situation to predict overall, what's going to happen next, because obviously we have a bunch of news coming into this market. So I will be most likely just observing. I don't have any resting orders below. I'm still not a fan of the fact that this kind of grinded like this. There's not this kind of a probe to the downside basically. But yeah, I'm just going to be watching this. Not really trying to immediately just get into the position.
And I feel like
yeah.
not many people knew about the Binance SEC thing. I was quite surprised how much engagement one of my posts did today with the timestamp. People like, what? What? Hearing? So we have all day rally because of ETF leak, bullish, 100,000 Bitcoin confirmed, and now everybody's like, Binance insolvent. What? No, I don't know. But yeah, just like not having a position is also a position. And I can see us, after, if we get, as you said, let's say we might not get anything, but if we do get something quote unquote bearish, which most likely has been known by market anyways, but people don't really read, maybe we get like a dip into quick recovery. Very similar situation with like the Solana thing.
Yeah. I think what is kind of just one last thing I wanted to mention with Solana is that also, if you are kind of going against this kind of general sentiment, which I feel like is a thing that we do very often, like going long when a lot of people are shorting, or going short when a bunch of people are longing, marking out the levels when the kind of situation happened in the first place. This is that tweet basically of approval of selling all the coins, and you can see how market kind of reacted to it. We rallied straight from that. So what I generally tend to do is I just kind of mark out this kind of general area simply because a lot of people that were shorting here, sitting underwater, would be pretty happy to exit the positions here as well. So you will have kind of this additional momentum, and you can see how this level kind of this kind of selling point, this large OI increase, you can see it right here, is acted basically as a support like 3 times before rally, and now dying again with BTC. But yeah.
But the question is, I have for you: do you think, just simply from like to kind of give a closure to Solana thing, so we can move on maybe to questions or other trades we wanted to discuss? Is we had this Solana thing, right? So maybe quick summary is the FTX estate, the people liquidating, have a lot of Solana. A lot of it is unlocked, a lot of it is vested until like 2028, so they cannot do shit with it. We also know from the document they could hedge it, so they could stake it, they could use whatever type of financial products and tools available.
Yeah.
But like, how much of it is in a way priced in, and how much do you think there is to squeeze potential in Solana? Because I feel like that move from like, what was it, 18 to basically 20 is kind of a big move, and I think for now, until we get the news from Galaxy or the estate itself, the Solana trade is kind of gone, and I'm personally shifting my attention elsewhere, and that's why we close our positions. We're not looking at Solana. I have it in my watch list, but it's not like, top of priority list for me, if that makes sense. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely kind of gone, because there was a lot of speculation with it. We read the document. We haven't found out how they are going to sell it. So since we don't know that, if it's not those kind of a situations where they would just kind of market dump it, for example, or do something like super stupid, which would definitely move the price a lot. I feel like it's not really much to kind of get from the trade at this point. It can, like I said, it can definitely squeeze higher. I wouldn't be surprised if we would kind of trade back above 2022 area. But yeah, I don't think there's much we can gain from that trade anymore, because obviously it's just kind of, yeah, it's pretty much gone. Maybe if they would kind of release some sort of way how they are going to dump it, then you can kind of maybe play some 4D chess with price going down at certain point, and watch if people try to kind of ride the wave, and you would have these kind of mean reversion trades when obviously same situation basically like there, when you have just like bunch of selling and market just pump from that. So yeah, I'm personally not looking at Solana much as well at this point.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, Bitcoin is going back to zero.
Thanks for playing. Well, we'll see you in 3 months.
This is where we started the stream, so now it's kind of back to.
I'm clicking some buttons here on the side, but one thing with today's move is some of the best beta performance. I think it's fair to mention. Actually, Solana, even though we believe the FTX specific trade is kind of gone, STX was pretty strong, even though no narrative, no nothing. But every time Bitcoin done well, we've seen STX this year many times over, and also ordinals are doing well, but it's quite tricky to buy them.
Yeah,
they're like on OKX. Yeah, of course. And yeah. But just wanted to mention, people always ask about beta, or like very often we have people ask maybe about some altcoin that is up 2%, but Bitcoin is up 5%. So simply from perspective of why trade the altcoin.
I have seen very clearly outperform today in like a bigger cap coins was Link. Link is up quite a bit, and the OI is also up 50% basically today. So Link was like the only one that I was looking at today, but with these kind of like YOLO moves to the upside, it's usually better short than long in my opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we can move on to some other. We had one setup we wanted to cover, but like with the market nuking.
Yeah, it's
the future of finance.
There are, I don't know, in the next few weeks, I think we might be, more regular back on streams again, but there is not really that many things to kind of talk about. Someone is mentioning the dot unlock. What was the thing that I sent? Oh, actually Link had a huge unlock last week, and look what this is doing. So We spoke about this a little bit. I like to trade unlocks from time to time, but I don't really see them as like a bearish thing. Because obviously most people see them as a bearish thing. So unlocks are nice to kind of narrow your list of things that you're looking. Obviously, this is a very cool website for it. The tokenunlocks.app. You can see all the coins. You can see the percentage of the supply that's getting unlocked. If you're gonna click on anything, you will obviously try to pick like a bigger coins, not like complete shit coins, but if you're gonna click on a coin, you will get a bunch of information. You will see this whole kind of unlock schedule and everything. But I would just say that like don't be this type of person who sees the unlock and immediately wants to short, because more often than not, these tend to kind of rally. I think one last week was Aptos as well. This haven't really pumped, to be fair, much, but unlock was basically on 12th. So
26.6.
it's still.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
so it's still at like 6%. This is looking terrible in the first place. So, yeah, like I said, with unlocks, try to pick up like the ones that are like solid. I usually look at least 5% of supply to be unlocked, not to trade everything. But yeah. So besides market going to zero,
Oh my god.
yeah,
People will pay us not to stream. But that's what I was tweeting about. Like, we are getting a mother of all candles. And if we, my personal quick thoughts, if we go below 26.4, like it better bounce, right? It's like
this is kind of the situation, because like I
Oh,
was
boy.
like I said, like I wanted to be long, but one of the things that I mentioned when we talk is like I don't want to see this retrace, towards the end of the day, basically, right? Because like it's on even on like a daily, this is immediately looking quite shitty, like we traded above the new highs ETH, but BTC is going to be very similar, like trades above the new highs, 15% increase in the open interest, and now it's dying again. So like I was all for going long, but I definitely didn't want to see this this kind of immediate retrace right away, basically. So not really sure about this one. Obviously, this can just bounce from here very very easily. We had a huge flash, and the next hourly candle is going to be back 3%. At that point, I think like my long idea is gone, but this seems a little too hectic for me at this point. And like I said, for BTC especially, there is this like a super grind, which is usually very weak positioning when these things get kind of traded through. So
Oh wow. I guess a lot of the trading, I mean, if somebody for some reason still reads our tweets, a lot of the trades we've taken lately have been in a way like once type of trade over and over again. So, and obviously if there's something, we're gonna mention it on the streams, but not that much has taken place. But we had Token 2049, which was a conference in Asia. So when you have a project, have biggest announcement yet, woohoo, alpha drop leak, you're gonna call your mom to buy the token type announcement, it is very more likely than not that it's going to be a complete nothing burger. And that, for example, happened with XLM, which they dropped like Instagram filter.
The token thing in Singapore. It was some conference in Madrid, but yeah, basically the same situation. This is the short, basically. You can see this kind of huge build up. If you're gonna go to their Twitter, you will see that they were tweeting, basically mentioning that in 10 days, on September 12th, so they started around kind of here, basically right here. They started, they started tweeting about, they have like a huge massive announcement coming in 10 days, which is one of those things when you have a fixed date. And usually in crypto, you should be kind of prepared for disappointment always. So yeah, it was some sort of rebrand thing. I think it was nothing really to do with anything anyway. And yeah, so
I mean, were there at least like one case in like last year or last 18 months whenever you have, oh my god, it's coming, it's usually not good. And unironically, one of the best trades of this year was XRP, when it went 2x, only because nobody really expected it. Kind of. Obviously, we know from the spot CVD situation we discussed a million times together. Somebody probably knew, but that's when you get these massive moves. Because if everybody's waiting in live stream like Shibarium launch, then you have stuff like this happen. So since we covered all the altcoins, how is your uncle doing?
Nice. That was unexpected. Yeah, but there is not much to say. I think, yeah, like the best trades that I took in last few months with like volatility being kind of slower were trades where I just generally had like decent amount of time to position myself and not being too insanely hectic. Even XRP basically like fading it. It took a few days to kind of do the reversal, the ship, the same thing with ship, and the event. It's not like these kind of events when OI pumps 15% and then it's down 15% again, and you just kind of going back and forth and trying to decide if you want a long or short or whatever we want to do. So yeah.
Also, one thing to mention, I guess it for some people might be relevant. Q3 is coming to an end, so some people love to look at stuff. I'm not sure if it's in CoinGlass or whatever the source is, but you can see like the historical performance, and usually Q4s have been relatively decent, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but just some things to potentially look out for. And I do want to talk about that small cap we
are about to launch.
Oh my god. The mainnet thing, not this one.
I want to be talking about my favorite trade of the week, but no, we would never get any sponsoring from Binance if I started to talk about this. Anyway, I don't know what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that so we don't just talk about stuff that happened. That there is a project that has something coming up that does not say long or short. It's just like a catalyst that we potentially looking out for.
There are a bunch of things. I think I'm not sure which one you mean at the moment.
A mainnet.
Oh yeah, there is DYDX.
Also.
What else? Jesus, I feel like I'm in fucking school now. I don't remember what I did yesterday, and you are asking me about some mainnet project what is launching.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It should be Stargate beta, layer 0 beta.
I'm literally going to disconnect from the call if you're gonna continue doing this.
No, Radiant.
Okay, yeah, so I wasn't sure if you want to talk about the coin that has like 5 million daily volume, but okay, sure. The Radiant is having it's not even here. It's like...
It's only on Coinalyze.
This is the point where we are going to talk about the coins that have like 0 volume, so we will hope that people will just pump it from the chat. But yeah. Radiant is having a news coming in 2 weeks. I think they are launching on the ETH mainnet. It's one of the things, once again, you can see it's been picking up little interest here, bunch of buying coming in, most likely going to be the sell the news type of thing. But it's still 2 weeks out. If you're gonna take a look at, a lot of these events, basically, the stellar was a little bit too specific because they like verbally announced it and started hyping it up. But even with SHIP, it had this kind of like, it usually has this kind of like 2 week build up to the event when the coin is going up. And since Runner is, just shorting everything he can, we are trying a new approach where we actually try to long something before the release. So yeah, we've been looking at this. There is decent amount of buying. If you're gonna take a look at the Coinalyze, there has been also a decent amount of spot buying coming to this as well. I think from a technical side of things, this is also looking decent, or this is like a down on list, so there is definitely a room to kind of push it. I just don't know, it's a very thin coin at the end of the day, and I don't really want to be be shilling, what was this as? Like 30 million daily volume. I believe OI is around like 10 million, hopefully dollars, not coins. That would be fucking sad.
Runner, 10
But-
minutes ago, we don't talk about low cap shitcoins. Also,
Yeah,
Runner,
yeah.
hey, let's talk about Radiant.
Yeah, so this is potentially one of the things you should be watching. I'm not going to kind of go in depth on how I trade it or how Runner is trading it. It's just like maybe something you should pay attention to, especially if Bitcoin is not going to go to like 12K from here with one candle. One of the other things though is DYDX. I think that has a little more volume, so we can actually
Yep.
talk about it. There is the V4 launching on
Or DYDX chain, as they call it now.
yeah, launching on Cosmos, which is like the most dead layer one they could pick. But
Thank
yeah,
you, Adam. First of all, you killed our potential sponsorship. That's first thing. And second thing, it's a layer 0, technically.
Okay, sure.
Thanks, man.
I've been looking at this. I think this is like such a mess how they did it, because I've been reading some of the older articles. Basically, we had this kind of huge run up in August. I don't know if we were streaming or we were just kind of talking about it privately. I can't remember. But from some of the articles that I've read, which are basically from like end of August, where OI went basically double, they made it seem like they will launch it like first week in September basically, but that didn't happen. We had a huge flash. There were some unlocks coming into this as well. But
Yeah, DYDX is a tricky one, because not only I don't know how to say it in a polite English, but they screwed everybody over in beginning of the year. There was supposed to be a massive unlock, so if you scroll back a bit, that's when they had a massive rally. So like January of this year, so we'll have to probably go for daily, yeah. And you can see the massive rally. Obviously, it was a market beta, but also they passed like on-chain governance proposal that they're gonna basically postpone the unlocks. So like the team is basically has a history of being very creative with their decision making, which is always something to keep an eye out for. And in general, not just with DYDX, but try to, as you trade more and you gain experience, or you journal on paper or whatever software you want to use, CMM, you wanna remember which coins, like what I'm gonna say, Adam, is like Lido. Some coins are just forsaken to trade. It's just difficult. And DYDX is tricky.
has this huge unlock in December. You can see how big of this is compared to basically they have these like monthly unlocks, so there's like not much to do there. But in December 4th there is a huge one. So I think if they are smart, they will kind of try to postpone the launch of the V4 later into the winter basically, so it will kind of rally pre-unlocks. But yeah, it's a little tricky to say, because I was looking at the DYDX CEO Twitter. He kind of talks about like they are going to launch it tomorrow, but yeah, price is still.
And then you have developers like we went to Spaces when there was like one person listening apart from me, and we had developers speaking about how it's going to be like mid-October. So it's like very difficult, and they keep spamming all the time. So,
but definitely, if this is going to follow kind of a classic crypto scam playbook, is going to start a rally at one point or another. If you're gonna see, obviously a huge pickup of the OI, we kind of revert. I'm gonna take a look at this. We kind of are reverting back to this 31 million OI, almost there basically. So the minute you start DYDX rallying and OI picking up, the CVD picking up as well on the spot side of things, you can kind of start to watch this more and expect they will be getting closer and closer to the release. Yeah, usually there are both sides of to be taken there. You can obviously long pre-event and then short usually post the release.
Then Rune also looks relatively decent, something we've taken, but with
Rune has something in November, if I remember correctly.
I mean,
Rune
every month.
Actually,
every month.
But it's looking very good actually. Like I remember, we were watching it here when after this huge wake in this kind of move down. It was a decent like short, but at the same time, it didn't really sold off all that much. Like, we didn't even like squeeze. One of those things is that like you have 500% increase in the open interest basically within this move, and you can see that everyone that basically bought into this area, all the way up here, basically is still kind of sitting in a
Man,
position,
that
very
is so
likely.
clean. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is so clean.
So yeah, this definitely, like, I was expecting this to sell off way more than it actually did, and it's super strong again. So, and you can kind of see that in a sense when you are looking at these things. You can see that when we basically hit back into this in this kind of like a SR level, whatever you want to call that. You can see how much of the fucking hell, I cannot do it. Okay, 1 second. You can see how much of the open interest kind of exited the system. Like it's basically decreased by 60%, which is a lot for a rune, and the price is staying very strong, like relatively. Obviously this rally like 100% before that. So
It's a
when you
very strong
see
spot buy pressure.
yeah. So when you see like huge kind of flush of OI like this, and prices really not kind of responding to that, because obviously this should lead to much bigger downside, then this is definitely one of the coins that to watch. I haven't taken any part in this. I kind of completely missed this, but yeah, you can see you have a strong spot bid. OI is going up again, so I would maybe I was actually looking at this today. I might want to like intraday, intra-week, kind of longs. I believe that we're gonna trade back above this $2 range, so maybe
Wow.
I will try to pick some small longs,
Adam the
but
bull. Can you now do
but
please
yeah.
a weekly chart?
Yeah, sure. I don't know how much data is here.
I think you'll have to go for the trading view.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I
No,
mean,
sorry.
sure, like, yeah, it's down only. Obviously, like the all-time high of this is above $20, but we are kind of moving away from this huge chunk of volume. You have a weekly kind of resistance level. If this is going to get broken based on, like this is like ultimate shitcoin, like having candles like these just up and down constantly, no fucking consolidation whatsoever. And if you're gonna take a look on the right side, basically you can see how little of the volume is kind of traded into these areas. So this is one of those things that it can like rally to like $6 very quickly, and people will
And still be extremely bearish higher time frame.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna rally to $6 and test something here and then go basically to zero.
Oh,
but
please.
yeah,
Please.
it's one of those things that this can really rally based on how kind of schizophrenic was this whole situation in 2021, 2022.
A few things to add apart from laughing about Rune. So they have like a very complex how do you call it, roadmap. So they basically have a series of announcements, which they're actually dropping. So one of the reasons why we rallied a month ago, they launched something called Rune Lending, which is basically what you can do on Aave. I'm way too low IQ to actually understand, but basically something bullish Rune. Then they have in September Cold Waltz, and they're also preparing a Perpdex situation, which should be burning a lot of Rune. So they basically play the classic buyback and burn mechanism, which is like a narrative that people seem to love because they cannot do mathematics and do the numbers that is going to become deflationary in year 3211. And yeah, it could be a nice little rally in Rune, and then potentially the opposite side of the trade.
Yeah, they have like a huge diehard fans as well. It's one of those coins that has like this cult like following, so that always helps. Yeah, so with that being said, I think what else is there? There are some coins are launching some things. There are like upgrades for some protocols. I've been looking at this today. I think like one of the funniest things is like one of the more this is kind of on the technical side of thing, which is actually helping the protocol, the less bullish the thing is, because no one understands it anyway. So yeah, I don't think there's
You basically
reason
want to make it very difficult, so the community is like, wow, so V4 staking burn to earn mechanism, that's bullish, so I'm buying more.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just like bunch of things that are not too.
I guess
worth
one
to mention at all.
thing we didn't talk about at all, it's almost end of September now, and if I'm not mistaken, in second week of October, there is a second SEC deadline for ETFs. I know it's few weeks out, but last time that was the reason why we sold off, and I mean...
There was this ETH ETF news over the... Where was it? Here, right?
You
Or
cannot even
somewhere in
see
here.
it. That's the best part.
That's kind of my point. What I wanted to mention. It was here. Yeah, this is this candle. Yeah, this was a bit surprising how kind of quickly this got faded.
Yeah, same day retrace. One thing to mention, it was ARK, and from my understanding, the KT has this like a reputation, you know. That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah. The ETFs, it's going to be one of those things that I feel like are going to get less and less kind of impact until something is actually approved. You know, so yeah. Someone asked about the minimum market cap. I'm generally personally looking at the coins that have at least 20 million, 25 million open interest. It's kind of a hard rule of thumb for me, and above 100 million daily volume traded. I also don't like to trade things which are all these scam coins basically, or cartel coins, or DVF coins, whatever you want to talk about, call them, when the volume and the open interest is actually higher than market cap. That's kind of a recipe for disaster. So yeah.
There's few strategies. Sorry, I thought you finished. So apologies.
Yeah, no, like I said, like generally, like above 100 million volume and like 25 to 50 million open interest at least on perps is, you know, good kind of rule of thumb that you are not going to get completely fucked, basically.
One thing with cartel coins, which I believe Andre in his, you know, he has friends tech now, the DWF guy.
Yeah.
I'm technically leaking his room now. Sue me. He said, and like it's true, a thing to do with a lot of these coins is on some of these exchanges. We're not gonna go into detail, but hopefully at least people still watching at 60 minutes in, feel like there's some alpha. There's a lot of strategies around funding arbitrages. It's no like secret. So there's stuff to do. I do not recommend it. I just wanted to say like there's possibility to do it. If you don't know how, maybe it's for the better.
Yeah. It's you know, it's like one of those things where it pays to be long, obviously, based on how funding rate, you know, the Blue Zell is the second one, you know, obviously TRB was this kind of most talked about one. Before that it was Unify, which is somewhere here as well. You know, it's one of those things, it pays to be long, and it's generally a very easy, you can see basically here, right? Like throughout the whole move, it's very, very nice to be long, but sooner or later this is going to happen. So I don't know, it's probably, from kind of my point of view at least, it's better to be long than short when obviously you have like minus 1%, minus 2% negative funding on a coin. Obviously it doesn't make sense to try to fade it, and especially like if you want to hold it for a little bit, but you need to be kind of prepared that sooner or later, you know, it will have this kind of like 30% down candle, you know, when it just gets too crazy, you know. Like the Blue Zell now is still within that kind of point that it didn't die completely, so you know, everyone who is long here is very happy, but sooner or later basically it will do something like this, you know, which is what TRB did, which is what the Unify did as well.
I think, to be fair, there's difference to be said between things like YGG, Cyber, and Blue Zell and TRB. They're kind of different structures, and not everything doing shitty shit like this is DWF. and I would say
Yeah.
Blue Zell is a bit different. No, not saying it has fundamentals or anything. I just
Yeah, but definitely, like I'm also like I'm not really keeping track of all the coins he talks about. But yeah, I think the main component here is the funding at the end of the day, and how much this is trading under the per price. So yeah.
I guess we can kind of wrap it up so everybody watching who's maybe still from Europe or USA can get a little snack and get ready for another 50% candle of Binance SEC thing. So if maybe people have some last questions, we can cover them.
If
But it's interesting, right? Most of the questions we've been getting last few months is not even how to like asking, let's say, about XRP situation or Solana. It's mostly stuff like Blue Zell, TRB. It's interesting. Just an observation from my side.
It's like generally these things always get the most kind of views. Like I see my feed, talking about these coins. Basically, it's like only thing people talk about. It's not a roll bit fucking thing. The Friendtech is these pump and dump coins. It's people, like, it's crypto, so people will always kind of get driven by these gamble things. Obviously, they see a coin which is up only. They will have these happy flashbacks from 2021 when it was easy PVE environment, whatever that fucking means anyway, when you can just buy everything and be happy and make tons of money, and
then give it all back.
This is what people will always be kind of drawn to when it comes to crypto, which is, I mean, understandable in the first place, but at the same time, like we talked about the Sol, we talked about the XLM, there are really, and I hate to say that the trade is easy, because nothing in trading, it's like, it's not easy at the end of the day. Like, you can still lose money. It's you still need to kind of come up with ideas and everything. It's not easy, but there are like more obvious kind of trades happening basically than just trying to chase the next pump and dump basically. And I think we're gonna end up the stream because Runner is having a mental breakdown at the moment. So yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.